Hello everyone, this is eFlex and welcome back to another A Producer's Approach video. In this video we're going to be looking at Teminite's song Believe, and if you guys have never watched these videos in the past, I'll just give you a basic rundown. I basically break my songs down to 3 different sections: an intro backstory section, a breakdown analysis section, and then lastly an outro section, just kind of wrapping up my thoughts and opinions. So today we're going to be looking at Teminite's song Believe. This song is part of the Unstoppable EP. This EP is amongst many great EPs by Teminite, but out of all the songs on the Unstoppable EP, which are all really good, Believe is probably the song that has been stuck in my head and I remember the most. And it's really great also because Teminite did a live video, as you're going to see, kind of like a live recording and session of the song, so it makes the song even better. But you know, I did his review for Pirate After Party, which is kind of like a more recent Teminite song, but I hope to, do more Teminite's music in the future because his music's really good, and I really like how he's taken the kind of more live performance aspects into his videos. I really do enjoy it when artists do that, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more videos because I realize they're more like Oblivion videos that are more live performance as well. If you guys don't remember the artist Oblivion, and her music's really good, so I hope to do some more APA videos for that. But Believe is one of those songs that always gets stuck in my head, and there's one section in the song that always gets stuck in my head, but the vocals are just really good. They're really uplifting, and like it takes Haywire's concept pretty much to like the same level or to another level with him. So it's just like a different style, but like same concept as like the live performance videos Haywire kind of inspired in the beginning. So if you guys don't know Haywire, he's another EDM artist that he did mostly glitch hop before. Now he kind of just does his own thing. So yeah, we'll just dive into this video and I'll talk about more of Believe later on. So let's keep going. Let's start with Teminite's song. Alright, so kind of the intro section, I like how it starts kind of with that one note kind of playing, like ding, almost like a chime, and then slowly the bass sound volume kind of filters in and slowly rises, and then the piano kind of lead he starts playing comes in, and also like a ticking clock sound that goes tick tock, like it starts playing as well. And then as he's playing the piano or the keyboard here, like that sound also gets integrated with the bell on top of the lead sound he's playing. So that's pretty interesting. So just kind of that intro is really cool and how it kind of slowly builds. So we're going to get into this part. So let's keep going. Alright, so that's kind of the part where the vocals come in, and I like how this part goes. So the vocals start, and I think what he's playing on the keyboard initially if this was live. I think he's playing the vocoded vocals, because the vocoder is actually a synth, and when like you play the notes, I believe that's kind of how the your voice changes key and stuff like that, so it can go along with what's playing. I believe, I don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what's happening. But when the vocoded vocals kind of come in, as you could see him, singing it, that's kind of the point I was bringing of what a vocoder is. So you kind of get to see more of a live representation of what a vocoder is and how it kind of works. Then like there's kind of a piano playing on the bottom with some pads, and then slowly the percussion starts coming in, slowly, as well as some other sounds. But the percussion slowly comes in, and then the build kind of starts building up with the kick kind of really coming in and starting to build up with some, white noise starting to come in. But you notice how the vocal, like, at least for me, is kind of the main drive. So everything else kind of is like in the exterior. The vocal is like the main focus, at least for me. Like, most of the time I pay attention to like the vocal, and like all the exterior sounds are not really something I super pay attention to, because like they're kind of just, building the scene and building like the, the feel of the song, and you're kind of focusing on what he's saying. But yeah, that's pretty cool how he has the focus of mainly the vocals. So we'll go into this kind of drop section here. So let's keep going. All right, so that's pretty interesting. I want to just stop it there. So you notice how it drops, and then like it goes dun, 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 and then he kind of sings. So it's kind of like a call and response, pretty similar to what dubstep and electro and complextro does, where the chord progression plays, and sometimes like you enter like a different sound or a wub to kind of finish that progression, play like the last note or something. You kind of notice him doing that, like when the kind of wubs are playing the chord progression, dun, 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 bah. Like it's just kind of like a call and response that he's doing that whole time with his vocoded vocal, which is really cool. It's very unique to actually also see it kind of in a live video as well. It's really unique to see how that's kind of built within the section. And the percussion seems to be more of like a traditional, almost dubstep kind of like rhythm, at least from what I can tell. But I could be wrong, but it seems a little more traditional to like a dubstep rhythm. It's not like a house 4/4. It's not double time. It's more of like a dubstep rhythm, but like a little more intuitive, or a little more complex, than like just the basic dubstep rhythm you've heard. But yeah, this part is the part you're gonna hear is like kind of the lead arp, which is really catchy to me. So let's keep going. All right, I really like that part where he kind of integrates the lead in. It's just kind of right after that wubby part, and then that dun-dun-dun-dun. I don't know, that part to me is what I remember, that lead sound. And it is a more traditional dubstep rhythm. He kind of has the vocal of I Believe playing in the background, and then he also has this really kind of reverbed, kind of glitched almost piano sound going like da-da-da-da-da. Like it's playing kind of in the background towards the end of that ARP part as well. But you could tell like the ARP was pretty much the main focus of that part, and everything like the bass line around it kind of goes up like doo 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 doo. Like you kind of hear that as well, like it kind of plays as well. But that's like the main part playing, is that kind of arpish lead along with the vocal chops playing and the bass line moving, and then kind of integrated different little sounds in the background just to keep the flow going. So it's really cool. That's probably my favorite part of the song, just that one loop when that ARP plays. So There's a lot more to the song, but that's the part I love the most about the song. So let's keep going. All right, so that section's really cool. He almost has his own kind of solo section as a break section. The true solo is going to be with the saxophone part, but that's almost like the break section for the song, which is really crazy. He has kind of like a vocal solo, along with that arp, that beginning sound that just plays a dum sound. Like it arps now and plays like the main arp, going throughout the song, and that plays throughout the whole time he's singing. And as I kind of assumed, but I think I'm correct, what he's playing on the keyboard while he's singing is the vocoder. So he's playing the vocoder almost in a sense, so his voice pitches to what the arp and the chord progression is. So he kind of he like sings and also kind of plays like that, I believe, just to kind of get the vocoder into the right key and notation. So I believe that's what he's doing there, and it's really cool because you notice like the vocal again is like the focus, and then later the percussion kind of comes in with that arp kind of playing, and I think there's also a pad sound as well, but the arp is kind of the main background noise, and then the percussion kind of comes in while he's singing. You could just tell like also towards the end of that, before the saxophone part, that he also has like harmonizing vocoded vocals on the bottom of what he's singing. It sounds like there's like a harmonization, like a lower pitched harmonizing vocal singing along. So that's really cool as well. So this song is really unique, and we'll get into this saxophone solo right now, along with this kind of bass sound. So let's keep going. All right, I know you're probably grooving out to that sax solo, but it's pretty interesting within this part. So basically, he kind of has the kind of more glitchiest type synths. They sound more kind of like saw wave-ish type synths, almost like, where they kind of glitch. Has that kind of progress as the sax solo comes in. And then he kind of plays the sax solo where the saxophone has a lot of reverb, and then a lot of his sounds kind of glitch, and then the percussion kind of goes into double time, more like a drum and bass song. So it goes more into a faster rhythm in double time, which is really cool. But the double time percussion and the synths don't take away from the saxophone, as the saxophone is the main focus. It's just pretty interesting how he complemented all those elements, like the synths, the electronic synths, with the saxophone being played like a live recording, because I'm pretty sure he played this live and recorded it, and then with the double time percussion. So that's happening as well. So And then in this section here, there was kind of like an ARP that was introduced as well, like a different kind of pluckish ARP sound that was introduced. So it's really cool how like the pairing of the saxophones and the synth aren't too crazy. And if you guys have listened to Teminite's music before, that kind of glitching synth sound sounds a lot like his song Hot Fizz. If you've listened to his older music, but if not, like that's kind of the sound in that song. It's kind of like glitchy, kind of saw wave type things, and that's kind of a unique sound he does in his style as well. So let's keep going. All right, just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else. So we'll back up a little bit. So within that sax solo, he's basically playing along, and then towards the like I guess middle or towards the end of like kind of the end of the sax solo, which is kind of I guess the second drop per se, if you want to call it that even. There's like a kind of organ sound that kind of comes in and plays as a pad to make it a little bit more angelic while he's kind of jamming out on a saxophone. And then there are also some cymbal crashes kind of in the drop to kind of, you know, transition different sections and kind of keep the flow going throughout the song. So there's new sounds kind of being introduced in terms of like transitionary sounds. So I really like how that section really kind of emphasized, you know, the angelic kind of peaceful kind of ending, I guess, with the sax solo. But it's just kind of interesting how he paired that sax sound and like balanced it really well with like a really big pad almost in the same frequency range that could have taken over the sound, but it didn't, and the saxophone was still the main focus. So overall, this is Teminite's song Believe. This song again is one of my favorites off the Unstoppable EP, and all the songs on the Unstoppable EP are really good. So I mean, I highly recommend it. I think it's like a 4-song EP, but this song to me is the one I remember the most, and it's just really good. It's not like a traditional EDM song in terms of structure, because there's not really like clear defined build-ups to drops per se. And like it just starts off way differently than, you know, the more traditional songs that we've seen, you know, that have like a 30-second, minute, 15-second intro, break, build, first drop, break. Like this song is a little bit more unique in its style, which is I think really cool, because he starts off with like no percussion and then like heavy vocoded vocals, and then just kind of builds up and then drops into what the drop is, and then the ARP kind of plays out to I guess what would be the break before the sax solo, I guess, as the second drop, if I could assume that. But then it kind of just outros and ends kind of pretty suddenly at the end, kind of with like a lower key reverbed key sounds or piano sound or something. So it's really cool. Overall, this is one of the more melodic songs from Teminite, because he can go really hard, like really dubsteppy with the sound design, but you really get a good sense of like how his style can really be balanced between really heavy, like really dubstep stuff and more melodic style stuff. So I mean, I really liked his vocoded vocals in this song. That ARP section to me is probably the best section, that lead, and just all the movement with the vocal chop saying I believe, and with the bass line moving with the percussion and halftime just comes in so well, and that chime that kind of comes in when he's playing the ARP. It's really good. And then the sax solo itself is really good, and kind of the balance between the sax solo and the rest of the synths playing that are all in the same frequency range, like that boggles my mind how he was able to get his live recorded saxophone to be the center and be the center of attention basically throughout that whole section with all the different synths playing and double time percussion, which is more involved. So it's really cool. So anyways, this is Teminite's song Believe. Highly recommend you listen to the Unstoppable EP and all of Teminite's music. Some of it might not jive with you if it's a little bit harder, but there's certain songs like this where he really goes full vocoder and is more melodic. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys wouldn't mind leaving a comment, like, subscribe, and maybe even share the channel with your friends. Would like to grow this channel in some sort of way. 1K would be kind of a nice goal to hit. I know my buddy Very Berry, he's been trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and he just hit it, so that gave me some, inspiration to at least maybe try and, grow this channel to some capacity, so other people can, maybe hear my opinions or something. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.